What's up guys, Nolan here, and this is going to be a heads up video on the next patch coming to Escape from Tarkov in the next couple weeks, because it's now clear that the normal early game that we are all used to, or at least most of us are used to, will change a bit at least, but might change significantly. I'm formatting this so that you guys can be as informed as possible with the changes that will be coming with this next patch, so either share this information or this video with friends so that we have as few confused people running around as possible. There's only a couple points in this video where I speculate because I need to because of the lack of information, and I'm make it very clear when and what. The rest is confirmed by BSG or Nikita himself within the last couple months. First things first, heads up, this will be a wipe. If you didn't know by now, it's confirmed by Nikita already. Check the video in the description for details. Heads up, we don't know a date yet, and we likely won't get one until we are just a couple days away at most, but they do plan to release it this year. So you do the math. The closer we get to the end of the month, the closer we are to the patch. This is how I do my guesswork around the date. Best indicator is the speed of the events. Seeing as this one has gone on for several days now, I think the next one will be this weekend, possibly Monday. I'm speculating here, and I have a small theory that they are bringing these events in day by day because there is a bit of a pattern. First one was a Thursday, then a Friday, then a Saturday, and this last one was a Sunday. So if that is a pattern, if that's something that they're intentionally doing, this might end up being on a Monday, but we'll see. Either way, next weekend, we're probably going to get something new. Heads up, Arena shouldn't be with this next patch. What could happen is they're going to have the early testing that might pop up with it, but in terms of what they've been talking about over the last year or so and what they've had planned for it, there was supposed to be that private early testing for it before there was a wider test and access to the game in general, which Arena is considered a different game because of the work that's going into it and the changes that are going to happen with the back end and the net code and all that stuff with it. So again, to be clear, heads up, Arena access, at least for everybody, is not expected for this patch. Heads up, there will be major task changes, including the criteria of the tasks and possibly more. Bare minimum, don't be surprised if the tasks that you're used to doing at the beginning are changed in location, items, traders, or possibly not even there. It's also possible they redirect flow of players to streets, as it's believed that Streets of Tarkov will be the starting location for the game on release, and they've already confirmed many tasks for part 1. So it's possible the early quests that we're used to doing are now directing us to streets specifically, but that is speculation. TLDR, don't be surprised if there's a lot of stuff that changed with the tasks that you're used to doing at the beginning of the patch. Pay attention to everything. Read everything. Along with that, heads up, Streets Part 1 is probably coming with this next patch. It won't have any bosses, and the initial extracts shouldn't be too crazy, but it is going to be a massive location compared to the rest of the maps that we know right now. Not every single building is going to have every floor accessible. I'm expecting most of the buildings to have at least a couple floors accessible until we reach the edge of the location, but given what BSG have said in the past and what we've seen already, I'm expecting the level of detail and the amount of exploration that we can do in this urban area is going to be one of the best that we've seen in a game like this. There's going to be a lot to do and a lot of places to go, as well as a lot of places to hide, so you're not only going to need to be looking around on the street that you're on, but also up at all those windows. I'm going to make it a priority to have a no streets in 5 minutes video up in the first couple days, so be on the lookout for that. It's going to cover all of the landmarks, the points of interest, and the extracts. Heads up, stay away from the Lighthouse Island and do not kill Zerachi. It's very likely that Antlerman will shoot you on sight at the start, but there's reason to believe that if you kill him, it will go badly for you down the line. We have reasonable suspicion that because Antlerman is in some way guarding Lightkeeper, they are probably friends. So our theory right now is if you kill Antlerman, the chances are that you will piss off Lightkeeper and lower your rep with him before you even meet him. Also, whether Antlerman is there or not, it's possible there will be mines on the bridge, so I suggest staying away from the Lighthouse Island completely on day 1 until we know what's what. Also, yes, you heard that correctly. Heads up, mines might be added, meaning that you'll want to watch your step, but more realistically, if you die randomly to an explosion in a place that there's not supposed to be mines, that's why. Going along with that, heads up, underbarrel grenade launchers are being added, so it's possible we see bodyguards, bosses, or I would think maybe cultists using them, so keep that in mind. There really isn't much that you can do about it at the beginning. Just, again, if you get killed by a 40mm grenade, just know it'll probably be around more often. I will say that BSG have been doing pretty well with the balance around these economies for these heavy weapons, so we'll see what happens with this one. I don't think it's completely out of the question to think they might even block it from the beginning of the wipe. We'll have to wait and see. Heads up, Lightkeeper could be in this patch, seeing as Antlerman is, or at least that is my reasoning for believing that he will be. Lightkeeper will not be on our normal trader screen. He will be an in-raid trader. You will not be able to access him the same way as other traders. There will be a quest line or some way of getting to the information that we need to know in order to become friends with him and then actually meet him and do business with him. We have no real leads as to what yet. We do not know what to do first. Best guess is move through the quests and see what pops up. Any new quests or mentions around the cult, the lighthouse Island in particular, Light, the blue Flame and/or of course Lightkeeper himself should be passed along to your nearest forum post or content creator so that they can let everyone else know. We'll need to figure out how to gain access to Lightkeeper together as a community. Heads up, crafting will work differently for many items in the hideout. You will need to find books that teach you how to craft certain items on top of building the stations in your hideout. Some of those items may include what we rush to at the early tasks, so look out for books, notes, and more as you are looting so that you know how to craft the items that you will need. Heads up, there is a lot that we don't know, and there's allegedly 3 big surprises coming with this patch, maybe more. If Lightkeeper is one of them, Streets is the second, then it's possible the third is something significant that may not even be something we're expecting. One of the surprise features in particular, Nikita was smiling about when discussing it, and he didn't even really discuss it. He just basically was discussing how he can't discuss it, but he was smiling a lot, so we'll have to see what that means. Your guess is as good as mine, but for the purposes of this video, here's some light speculation along with my reasoning so that you can choose whether or not to think in a similar way. So heads up, I think it might be something big, like possibly more than just Lightkeeper will be in raid only. If they have the functionality of Lightkeeper working, it's possible they've gone and made other traders in raid only without telling us. Well, at least not telling us that they would be in raid this patch. We know BSG want to make many, if not all of the traders in raid only, and then have the flea market only accessible through the PC in your hideout. They've been saying that for years now. What was a bit skeptical recently is we didn't know if they were going to do all traders or just some, but they've now made it clear that they want at least most and possibly all of them in raid. We've also seen 3D character concepts as well as busts and facial animations for several of the traders, including Prapper and Therapist, over the past couple years. If they are going to use the same functionality around interaction and trade as Lightkeeper, it is very possible that 1 or 2, maybe more of the traders that we are used to are becoming in raid as well. So to be clear, the speculation there is around this happening this patch, by the way, because again, heads up, it is confirmed to be BSG's plan to have many, if not all the traders become in raid. That's been talked about even just this last month by Nikita in a podcast. You'll find the video for that linked in the description. So my theory is that that could be one of the surprises that they're keeping secret from us. And it leads me to this specifically because of the wording that they used around the task changes. I think that this creates a little perfect storm that would be a good environment to do something like this. We're going to have Streets Part 1. Streets is supposed to be the first map that we begin on. We're going to have an in-raid trader and the functionality around in-raid trade, and we know they're going to be changing up the tasks that we've been used to this whole time, so that would make the perfect environment to move a couple of the initial traders to in-raid. So why wouldn't you just snowball it all together and then have us completely relearn the beginning of the game as they want it to be for release, so that we can then get used to it as we're going up to release, which by the way, there is no date for release. It's just expected to be in the next couple of years or so, and we know that BSG are pushing for it. The way the game works right now is very different from how they want it to work at release, so this would be a major first step to getting us towards that. So in conclusion, be ready to be thrown for a loop, whether it be the task changes, the traders, or possibly more, as again, BSG have been keeping some secrets for this one. Again, please share at least this information, if not the video itself, with friends so that we have as few as possible confused people running around on day one. Otherwise, that's going to do it for now, guys. For the latest info in detail, check out the videos that I've linked in the description as well as pinned here. If you like this video, there's a button for that. Subscribe for more like it, or jump into the comments and tell me where you think you'll step on your first player placed mine. For the latest news, check this out. Otherwise, thank you very much for watching, and I hope you have a nice day. See you guys.